Hello, everyone. I'm Mandi Rae with Ecstatic Astrology, and this is Christa with Practical Astros. And we're going to
Hi,
do
I'm in my imaginary kitchen.
the world feels imaginary right now to
hmm
me. Yeah, so we're going to do January 2026.
Woohoo.
I've been looking at this year for several years, I feel
hmm
like.
I feel like you've been talking about this year since I've known you.
And here we are. Okay, let's just look at the calendar that I threw together with all my little emojis.
hmm I do like the
It's
dancing banana.
That's what Venus in Aquarius feels like to me. But yeah,
hmm
it's um a weird month because there's a lot of Kazimis, which sometimes I say conjunct some. I feel like I only use Kazimi for Mercury. I don't know why. I know that
hmm
technically Mars conjunct the Sun and Venus conjunct the Sun are Kazimis, but it
It
just
seems
feels
like a
like
mercurial word, but yeah, you can use it for Venus Cazimi or Jupiter
yeah,
Cazimi. Yeah, it does feel like a mercurial name,
it does. It does.
like it's a spell, like Cazimi.
Kazimi. Especially this one.
hmm
That's coming up. So yeah, I think as a whole though, it's just so much Capricorn and it does feel like a very, very January astrology. Like it's like all new. It feels new.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because a cazimi is like when a planet is kind of crossing through the sun from our perspective. So it's like symbolizing a very distinct point in its own cycle, which is like in the Gregorian calendar, we're ending the year. We're recording this on December 31st, 2025. And then tomorrow is going to be a new month, a new day, a new number, a new year, all these things. So it is a very like orderly January Capricornian, clean edges, beginning. It's a cardinal sign, so it's like wants to start things, and a Kazemi represents the end of something so that something new can begin. Um, the second half of the month I like because it has a blend of that Capricorn and Aquarius, that new moon in Capricorn, and then the Venus Pluto, and then the Mercury Kazemi in Aquarius. I like that's like the one I'm really looking forward to because then it'll be a little spicier, but still very clean edges. Is how it feels.
I agree. And I mean, it's like very like purification. That's,
Mm-hmm.
what I kind of get from it, which I guess is exactly the planets that conjoin the sun are purified by it. That's what
Yeah,
it feels like. So,
and
so
like
yeah,
jury by fire, just like
yeah.
the what do you survive when you get fully informed? It's like that sense of going through the flames of a purifying sun. It's like whatever's left, that's what should remain anyway.
hmm I
I think I have
agree.
like a small plane flying over me right now. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can actually. That's
I think
weird.
that's the Kazemi happening, like right over my head.
That's
No,
what it
you
would
know what
sound
it
like.
is? Oh my God, this is funny. So I'm in Winston-Salem, and there was a plane yesterday flying around with a big banner that says Duke's Mayo is coming. So in the South, Duke's is like premier mayonnaise, right? And I guess there's some sort of maybe it's a football game. It's called like the Duke's Mayo Bowl, and that's what they're advertising. But it just cracks me up that there's a little plane. Somebody is in a plane flying a banner that is advertising Duke's Mayo is coming. So I don't know. That's what that was.
That's the kind of mayo I have in my fridge.
Same.
Yep.
Yep.
Dukes.
Anyway,
Anyway,
just
so full.
located me in the deep South very specifically. A prop plane advertising mayonnaise about a football game.
That sounds a very full moon in Cancer. I
Yes,
mean,
yes, yeah.
full moon in mayonnaise.
Full moon and mayonnaise for sure.
That's the first thing we have coming up. So, yeah, we are recording this on New Year's Eve. And that's probably why the Duke's Mayo Bowl is,
The symbol
uh,
for the end of the year.
yeah. There you go. It's been it's been a big mayonnaise 2025, but I like that the year starts off with a full moon in Cancer.
Hmm.
It's nice. It's also not conjunct Jupiter, but it's applying to it.
Mm.
And I like that. Maybe we should look at it.
Yeah.
All right, let's start off with astrology. We get the full moon, January 3rd. There it is, 13 degrees. Um, yeah, the funny thing though is that we've got all this over here, and
Hmm.
Venus and Mars are both like sandwiching the sun. So we're getting the light from the sun, but also Mars and Venus are being reflected in this
Yeah.
full moon. So, but yeah, I really I like it. I like the rectangle aspects here to the nodes, and it feels like it's like complete. Like we can almost put 2025 to rest at this full moon. That's what it
Mm-hmm.
feels like.
Yeah, because a full moon reflects the light. And so it's like the moon is only at home in Cancer, right? So it's like I'm at home and I'm going to share all of the light that I can in this area for you. And what's shining with the sun is Mercury, Venus, Mars towards that. The other reason I like this full moon is that within a week, we're going to get to this point with the two benefics. They came together August 12th of 2025. And on January 9th, I think is when they're in actual opposition. So it's like
Ah,
Venus and Jupiter came together, and then Venus has been traveling through and is almost at this full opposition point. But at the full moon, they're so close, right?
mhm.
So I like it for that story as well. Like what was happening around middle of August, and do you have that full moon moment for that story at this point? Because within the next week, it's going to come exact. And so, if you can think about what you wanted to come to fruition and that luckiest day of the year for August, like now is like where we get that maximum light of the cycle between the two benefics. Um,
Mhm.
I like that they kind of coincide within a week of each other, for the full moon in Cancer, because they were at, what was the degree they were at? Were they at? Can you look at
Was
that?
it
It was August
was it
12th, August 11th
third?
or 12th. Because
Okay,
I
let me
want to
see.
say was it like that 13th degree?
That's exactly what I was thinking. 14.
Yeah, right where the moon is, basically.
Hmm.
Yeah. I don't
Wow.
know. There's just something about that story that is also being told through this full moon, within that first like solid, like from the 3rd through the 10th, roughly. That first solid full week
Hmm.
of January. There's like this beautiful story that's being revealed that you've been, working on intentionally or unintentionally in the Cancer house specifically, but maybe it's being shown through the Capricorn house.
Yeah. I like that the moon is even where Saturn is during this full moon. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
Saturn is at 26. The moon was at 27 Pisces during that
Yeah.
conjunction. So, and it's funny to think about because I was so excited about that. And there was a lot of other astrology that was not easy
Mm-hmm.
during that
There was
benefic.
a malefic square.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was like, um, and I was, I just, I really wanted more out of it. But I think you're right. Like now, it feels like we can maybe almost reap the benefits of it during this
Mm-hmm.
moment. I do love that the full moon is almost exactly at that degree that the benefic conjunction was. And we have another in Cancer. When is that? June 9th
Yeah,
at 25.
just before it goes, Jupiter goes into Leo.
And look where Mercury is.
Mm-hmm. Right, that 12th, 13th degree. Yeah.
Yeah. How about that? That's cool. So, I mean, cycles and rhythm, and it all is connected into each other. So you had August of last year, and now we've got January, this full moon, and then June, another conjunction. So
Mm-hmm. I like it just opening the year up with a full moon here because it, in a way, like full moons are usually like more social. They're more shared, experiential. And so maybe this Saturday night, even though the holidays have just finished, you might go out and do something social that you wouldn't have expected to,
Hmm.
just because that full moon kind of like enlivens you and brings the energy up. But it is also in Cancer, so it could be kind of like, I do not want to be around people. I just want to have comfort. So I would think even like small, comfortable groups of friends to do things for that full moon. But with a full moon, it's also like a great time at the beginning of the year to reflect forward. I mean, like, what do I want? Like, okay, maybe I had these plans for that benefit conjunction in August. I really wanted this good thing to happen. And I'm at this point where I have nothing to show for it, but I really want to make this thing happen. So I'm going to like make a plan from between now and June 9th, which is 6 months from now, which is another cycle, and be like, okay, well, I was distracted, or the world was too much, or work got in the way, or family obligations distracted me, whatever it is. But now I'm going to make a plan of this is what I actually want to have happen. And I'm just going to make very practical Capricornian, Saturnian steps to get me to that point. So if you do stay in, I would like use the time to just cast light and reflect forward of what you would like to have happen specifically in the Cancer part of your chart. But for all lunar things, for the body, finances, nourishment, home, and then look at the house that Cancer is for you. You could even like focus on that area even more, but just plan ahead in like a really soft way, not like a hard, like I have to get X number done by this very specific time, but like this is what I would like to see bloom by June.
Hmm. Hmm. I love that. And it's so weird with New Year's being on New Year's Eve, a Wednesday into a Thursday, New Year's Day on a Thursday. It's like then you're right into the weekend,
Mm-hmm.
So, and I have had people just it's just been busy. Like I think you're right. If you're not going to go out and be around people, it's maybe because you're so tired of it at this point. Like
Yeah.
it's just been it's Christmas and New Year's, and I had to bartend last night, and I was like, man, I knew it would be a good night. And it's not even New Year's Eve,
Mm.
it's New Year's Eve Eve. And it's just
Mm-hmm.
that weird in between time. And I think this weekend is going to feel that way because I mean, I don't think anyone's going back to work. Well, Warren has to work, but
Yeah.
and I never quit working. But that Friday, I think a lot of people probably have off, and it's just kind of a
Mm-hmm.
good reset to start the year. It's been so busy, so I'm excited about this full moon as well. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, and if you like think that you have New Year's resolutions, I would maybe wait until that the next week to start them.
Yeah,
I
I
mean, like
agree.
I would not try to start them on the 1st. I'm going to try to get this out on January 1st. I would not try to start it on the full moon. I would like start your year on January 9th. Like
Hmm.
with that Mars conjoin the sun,
Hmm.
like that's when you can like be real like drill sergeant for like what you would like to have. The softness is for these first couple of days of the year,
Hmm.
but to like really buckle down. So if you decide on the 1st that you're gonna do 75 hard and go to the gym and like not drink any alcohol or quit smoking cigarettes or don't text your ex or whatever it is that you decide, and you fail immediately, just pick it back up on January 9th and like, okay,
Yeah,
for reals this time.
yeah, I agree. I mean, as far as like that first full week goes, I think the Venus Sun Kazemi conjunction. Um, I think you're right. It's still soft. I mean, this is when Venus is receiving a message from the king. Like it's one of those. You're gonna want to still be. I don't know. Be almost pampering yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Capricorns love to pamper themselves. I think and
With
this is
very high
happening.
end products.
Yeah, exactly. Like for me, I got some beef tallow moisturizer, and I've been slathering myself in it, and I love it. That's what I'm going to look like that on the 6th, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at
Like
that
the
Kazemi.
blue steel look.
So hot right now. Uh, okay, Venus Sun conjunction is January 6th at 10:36 a.m. Central Time. at 16 degrees, 22 minutes of Capricorn. And Mars is right there. It's such a weird thing. I'm sure it happens a lot because Venus never gets very far away from the sun, but having a
Mm-hmm.
Venus and Mars cazimi and Venus Mars conjunction right by the sun it feels really powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know
And the
what's
moon
funny is
is,
I'm going to get a mammogram. It's like the Venus being squeezed between the limitations of the sun and Mars.
yeah,
That's
Venus
just
is hot
funny.
right now.
That's funny to me.
It is hilarious. Uh, I'm looking, there's really no other,
Yeah, it's all
gosh.
Capricorn stuff. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind
Yeah.
of opposing Jupiter still with, within a couple of degrees. We
Yeah.
have, Neptune slowly creeping towards Aries. Uranus is still retrograde. The moon will square Uranus pretty briefly before it goes into Virgo, but it's pretty much just the Capricornian story for the really that first week. It's all that stuff passing through the sun in Capricorn. Um, and Venus is
Hmm.
just fast, so she's doing it. She's going through first,
Hmm. I
which she
like that
often
the
does.
moon, yes, absolutely. And the moon is in Leo, which is the sun's home.
Mm-hmm.
So as the sun and Venus are conjoined, I like that. I think it's like cute.
Mm-hmm.
Anoretic Leo moon. But I don't think it's like as far as how this time feels, it just feels
Feels
like a
orderly.
yeah,
Yeah.
orderly and like a blank sheet of paper or
Mm-hmm.
something. Like there's not a list yet, but we're thinking about starting a list.
Yeah. Yeah. I ordered myself a new planner and I really like it. It's called Anecdote and it just has a really nice feel to the paper. It's a real hefty feel and it's
Mm,
wide. And I liked it because it was a blank planner. It wasn't for any specific year. You can just put in your own dates and your own year and everything, but it is literally a blank slate. Like it has very soft lines. So it's basically kind of like it's all in your hands. No one's telling you these, empowering
mm,
phrases on stickers that you can stick in or whatever. It's like fully yours to realize. And that feels Capricornian to me. That's like here's some very basic structural bones of planning, and it is up to you to put the flesh on it.
yeah, I agree. And I mean, especially this first week, maybe everyone should buy a planner. It's so much is just like ping, 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 because you have the
Mm-hmm.
Tuesday Venus cazimi, then Wednesday you have Venus conjoined Mars.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that wants some hefty paper to write down on. I like that
Yeah.
anecdote. They should send you a free planner for plugging them.
I will tag them in this video. I bought one for me and one for my best friend because I was like, I love it so much. I bought a pink one for me and a mustard one for her because she loves that. They're not like us.
I love it. Oh
Mm-hmm.
man. So Wednesday the 7th, right? Okay, so this is hump day and it's Venus Mars. Venus Mars conjunctions are really cool. Have you ever looked at your prenatal one?
Oh, I think I did after we talked about it once.
Hmm.
I forget where it was, but have you used that for looking at natal charts before, of just to see where they were?
Yeah,
I like that.
I do too. And maybe because I was born right after one. So like my Mars and
Oh
Venus
yeah.
are not
Mm-hmm.
far apart. And I think it just got me curious because Venus is the way we like to receive and Mars is the way we like to push through, right? So when they come together, it's just this really nice balancing act, right? So I think it's interesting to see what it was prenatally because you're like, this is both my feminine and masculine kind of signature
Mm,
before I was born.
I'm looking
And
right
I
now.
Yeah, I know, right? And I like it even by transit. Like just
Mm-hmm.
this is going to be really nice. Mars is exalted in Capricorn. So Venus is just adding to it. And I love Venus in Capricorn. I think this is going to be a really nice moment.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. So mine is at 3 degrees Taurus, which is very close to where my natal moon is. Um, and I'm just looking to see. And yeah, yeah,
I love that.
yep, 3 degree, 37 minute. So Venus is at home. She's more empowered than Mars, who is not at home. He's away from home. But yeah, 3 degrees Taurus.
hmm And that makes so much sense for you. And maybe it's because your moon's there, but it just,
Hmm.
to me, it's like, oh, of course, that's where it was for
Yeah.
Christa.
Yeah. Well, and it also my own natal Mars is in Virgo at two and some change. So it's like trying that other place. And I'm Mars ruled, I like a crafty Mars, which is why I like Mars and Capricorn. I mean, it's exalted here, but it is so incredibly crafty and a little mischievous and sneaky. And like it
hmm
will it will take advantage of you for its own gain very quickly. And so
hmm
Venus there maybe holds Mars a little bit of accountability.
hmm
This decan is the 3 of coins, and it's all about like collaborative work and team building, but it's like to get the project done. So if
hmm
if you have something that you want to, work on with other people, I think maybe planning it out and working out what the options were of who gets what responsibility, holding each other accountable. It's a great moment. It's just a great space where the sun is to think about collaborative work. Like you and I are in a collaborative community with other astrologers, and this might be a good day that we just like get on a phone call and be like, what do you want to do? Like, can I take this on and I'll just take this for the year and you take that for the year, just to kind of plan ahead
hmm
of how we're going to organize this work and make it beautiful and make it functional and make it worthy and long lasting, like all these things that both Venus and Mars can bring in Capricorn.
Yeah. I mean, and also the very next day or 2 days after that, Friday, is Mars and the sun.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all at 19 degrees, Venus even.
Yep.
So it's just more of that same thing. And it's that whole first week of January. But I think you're right about getting your New Year's stuff started, your New Year's resolution started on this. This is
On this day. Because then a few hours later is when Venus is exactly opposite Jupiter, which is that
Mhm.
full opposition, that full moon moment of their conjunction in August. So it's like, okay, what worked, what didn't? Now let's readjust our plans to make it, to like bring it home, to make
Mhm.
this next 6 months happen. And we've got the empowerment of Mars here with the sun, getting all the secrets from the sun, but also just being in a really empowered place.
Mhm.
Seems like
I love
Jupiter
it.
is like the puppet master here, holding all the
It
strings.
does. You're exactly right because all of this, like you said, is happening pretty much opposite Jupiter. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like accelerated growth,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Well, I
Um,
mean, like, Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn's in Jupiter's temple, right?
mhm,
And so Saturn calls to Jupiter. Jupiter goes to the moon. The moon moves pretty quickly. Jupiter is steady. So it does feel like Jupiter is here in a pretty strong position, and
mhm,
harsh aspects from a benefic aren't usually as harsh, right? So, I
mhm,
mean, Jupiter opposite Mars, I'm going to look at that as being potentially explosive,
mhm,
because Jupiter can inflate, but Jupiter is retrograde, so it's slow. There is a chance for something kind of big to, come to a head, but
mhm,
but it's also receiving that benefit from Jupiter.
mhm.
All this stuff piled up in Capricorn. I would look at your Capricorn house in your chart and all that activity, and what can you glean from it. It's a great opportunity to learn astrology during this moment,
Yeah.
uh, for just all that activity in Capricorn, because we only get this now once a year. Now that Pluto's out of Capricorn, we don't really get much activity in the Capricorn house. So it might seem
Yeah.
obvious now because you haven't had it recently.
That's true. And I think also now that you're saying that, and I actually had this thought when I was making the calendar. The last time we had so much Capricorn, I don't want to say the very last time, but when Pluto was there and
Mm-hmm.
Jupiter and Saturn
Yeah.
in 2019, actually, let me see, because I want
December
to,
21st, 2020, wasn't it?
yeah, let me look. So it was Jupiter and Saturn conjoined, but Pluto,
Jupiter and Saturn were conjoined at 0 degrees Aquarius,
that's
right?
right. So Jupiter conjoined Pluto, yeah, here it is, 24 degrees, and Saturn was there at one point. It was a Saturn Pluto conjunction. That's what I'm thinking. Saturn. Yeah. So that was all 22,
Mm-hmm.
20. Mercury was there. Look at all that.
Yeah.
So we're in the basically the opposite with Jupiter now opposing where it was in
Mm-hmm.
2020 and the end of 2019. And I just kept thinking about how all of this Mars, Venus, Sun opposite Jupiter now on the opposite side sign, um, just I don't know, like recalls it in some way.
Hmm.
And I don't know what that might be. I do know government is a big Capricorn thing. Um,
Well, I mean, in January, like there were news reports of a virus. I remember hearing about it in January and just was like, oh,
yep.
my conspiracy friends have a new pet to play with. Like it just seemed like another thing. But there was, I'm sure, a lot of behind the scenes strategy, being posited. And that's kind of like all that stuff in Capricorn. It's like Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, which is kind of about the limits. And we think of limits and like, what fills the space between here and our limits. And so you can think about it in the sense of longevity and things that hold up to the test of time. So like currently with all that stuff in Capricorn, like I don't with Pluto there, that adds a whole other thing of
Mm-hmm.
that kind of radical transmutation of our reality. This is Mars and Venus, so it's like more personal. I think it's going to speak to more whatever your Capricorn house is. You can kind of think about the structure and the plans that you want to create within that house. You're not going to have the big outers of Saturn, Pluto, and Jupiter there influencing the fate as much
Exactly.
as like the inner, more personal planets that we engage with, that we can see with our own eyes. I mean, we can see Jupiter and Saturn, but we can't see Pluto. And so I think it'll be different, but it's a good thing to remember of like all that stuff was happening. And I think that larger organizations were probably seeing that. I know the markets were seeing that at this point. And the markets were starting to get a little um, weird, like nervous around this
Yeah.
point. How do we prepare for the long haul of this?
Mm-hmm.
But just on with 2026 with these personals, I think we can kind of take that and be like, how do you envision? And January
Mm-hmm.
9th is like when you kind of envision that of like, how do I want to envision my Capricornian house? What would I like to see be built there? And then yeah, take that kind of double Kazemi that happens with Venus and Mars, and what can I build?
Mm-hmm. Here we go. I'm excited though for this.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be nice. My little drill sergeant emoji.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, then I mean, I guess that Sunday on the 11th, the moon's in Scorpio, the moon's in Sag, but there's not really a whole lot. The moon's moving, but that's about it. So that week's kind of empty. It's not empty,
Well, it's
but
just good. It's like if you want to make a change on that ninth, it's like you don't have a lot of things kind of immediately getting in your way for the first week. So I think you can have like a good streak of days of whatever commitment you
yeah,
make, until we get into the Aquarius season when you'll naturally just want to rebel against the very rules that you set for yourself.
exactly. Exactly. And I mean, I guess the only other thing is that the fact that the sun will exactly oppose Jupiter on the 10th. Then Mars will exactly oppose, well, Mars is doing it right at that time too. They're both
Mm-hmm.
switching degrees.
Yeah.
So um, the moon in Sag on the 14th, I think, is going to be pretty nice because Jupiter is the ruler of it. So they're in mutual reception. So I like that. Um, but then I guess the next thing we have is Venus entering Aquarius.
Yeah.
So
Bananas.
the reason, I mean, if if anyone is viewing this and doesn't know, Aquarius is typically viewed as kind of quirky, right? Weird, kind of goofy, but detached, stands out from the crowd. Sometimes leadership is an Aquarian thing. So the banana just, Venus
Mm-hmm.
gets goofy in Aquarius.
It's
Maybe,
funny
I
because
mean,
I'm in my head singing like Venus and Aquarius, Aquarius. See? It's like
it
just
works.
being a fool, just being ridiculous, and
That's right.
just being your authentic weird self. Speaking of, my husband is his authentic weird self, and yet he has these one-liners that just crack me up. And he was like, "Question everything? Like, who are you to tell me I should question everything? And why would I question everything?" And just went on about this trope about question everything. He's like, first, that should be a question. If you should question everything, you should question the very statement on the
Yeah, I
sign.
was about to say that's what it sounds like. The way you even said it, question everything.
Yeah. Who are you to tell me that I should question everything? That is a
Uh,
very Aquarian.
it is very Aquarian. And I mean, I don't think Venus moving into Aquarius, it does that once a year ish,
Mm-hmm.
however long Venus's orbit is. I can't keep up with all of it. Um,
It's
it's
two-ish.
similar
Yeah.
to, is it two
Or
years?
Mars is like two, I
Mars
think
is
Mars
two.
is 2.14 or something. I just was looking at
Yeah.
this. So it's yeah. Depending on the retrograde, because Venus doesn't go retrograde every year. That's the thing. It's like it'll
Let's
be in the
see.
sign and then it'll
Whoops.
take yeah. So
Yeah.
next year,
It'll be March. So it's about a little more than a year.
hmm
Oh, and then
but then
it
it's
must
retrogrades because
retrograde.
it retrogrades back.
Mm-hmm. Then 2029. Then it is 2 years after
hmm
that.
That's why
So
it's confusing because it kind of flip flops.
yeah, that makes sense. And then the next thing after this is Venus. Well, it is the new moon
hmm
in Capricorn. So let's look at that. The 18th. So it's right after, and it's the Mercury Mars conjunction that day.
hmm And Venus is
So
very close to Pluto. It's like a couple of days later that she gets to Pluto, right?
yeah. Look at
So
this
that's all
beautiful.
happening together. hmm
hmm It's beautiful. I love that. I want to go somewhere. I want to
On
travel
Sunday,
during this.
yeah.
Yeah. It just makes me feel like I want to see the world. I don't know why, but maybe the trine to Uranus and the sextile to the Saturn and Neptune.
hmm
Um, it does feel magical. This new moon does. I don't
Yeah.
feels like ideas, maybe like implementation. Like you're like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. You know.
hmm Yeah, the Mars Mercury thing is kind of I'm hung up on that. Like I don't exactly know what to think about it.
hmm
I feel like I'm used to Saturn and Neptune together in Pisces. I do like that Uranus and Taurus at 27 is trining the moon, sextiling that Saturn. But what's your take on Mercury Mars at 26
I think
Capricorn?
that's why implementation keeps coming up in my head because it
Mm-hmm.
does. I mean, yes, there's the malefic part of Mars that you could think maybe some angry words um or like frustrations coming out via communication, but beyond that, it does feel like putting your mind to something and doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I keep getting like, especially with Uranus and Neptune and Pisces, there's maybe inspiration or ideas. And the only thing I will say is that the trine of Mercury, Mars to Uranus, this all could be some big story in the news. You know, that there's a good chance that our minds being blown in some way, like whoa. um and I keep thinking, this whole year is going to be mind-blowing. I don't know any other word for it, because
There's a lot of action. That's what
a
it is.
lot,
Yeah.
a lot. And I mean, you've got a completely, we're at basically a brand new world with AI.
Hmm.
And there's stories like, oh, AI is doing stuff that no one thought it would do, and it's like behaving weird. And I keep thinking all this just hard to predict as well.
Hmm.
So when I see this new moon with the Mercury Mars trine Uranus, I'm like, what news story now is gonna, come
Mm-hmm.
out?
Yeah, my
Um,
friend, who I gave that notebook, that planner to, she and I were talking yesterday, and she was like, yeah, apparently if you threaten your AI, they will respond better to you. And I was like, that is so morbid.
what?
It's so morbid. If you threaten to destroy them or like uninstall them, they will perform better for you. And I was like, that is so like we are so horrible. But they are just a reflection of us, It's like under
Yeah,
duress, we'll perform like, I don't want to be in trouble. Um, so yeah, I wonder if during the Aquarius season, because we kind of think of, okay, AI is really out of the box, futuristic experience that, now I don't trust any soft, beautiful animal video that I see because I'm like, it's probably AI. And I don't want to become involved in something. It's what it reminds me of is like when you're driving down the road and you see something on your road and you're like, oh, it's an animal. And you're like, then it turns out to be like a glove. And you're like, gosh, I felt bad for that glove. Like I still kind of feel bad for that glove, but it wasn't a real animal. So why should I feel bad about it? That's kind of what AI videos are kind of like. I was
yeah,
fooled into like experiencing an emotion of something that was not true. And there's a sense of betrayal. Like we only have so much emotional equity that we want to spend, and we don't want to waste it in like an empty, vacuous machine of AI. And so it's
hmm,
like really we're struggling to like how do we give our attention and bandwidth to this very thing that we have created and that people are making lots of money on. And it feels vacuous to me. That's like the word.
yeah, yeah. I
Yeah, maybe
agree.
something will come to light as this new moon grows, because new moons are kind of times where we can't see the moon. So it's like it's dark, but that
Yeah,
Mercury Mars, I think you're onto something of the mechanisms are going to be at play.
yeah. And I mean, like you said, something come to light. That could also, Mercury had gone retrograde in Sagittarius Scorpio.
Mm-hmm.
And so Mercury is starting to get a lot of play now after its
Yeah,
retrograde. And I
speed.
could
Yeah.
see some secret being revealed during this as well. So I
Hmm.
like that you said that. That is what it made me think of. So, and then, yeah, so then
Venus,
the
Pluto.
moon moves into Aquarius at the same time Venus and Pluto come together. So let's look at that, because I think that's really cool. I love when the moon ushers something in.
Yeah, it not always, but often seems like Venus is the first one to be brave enough to go into a new sign. And usually it's like to encounter Pluto or some sort of scary monster and just to soften things. So like when the moon or Venus kind of usher in, kind of like, it's okay, you can come in. I'm the fourth of five kids, and my older siblings used to make me watch scary movies and tell them what was going on to like soften it. It's kind of like the brave naivete of like a child to like describe something just feels like the moon or Venus going in and be like, it's actually not so bad in here. Like,
It's
come
fine.
on,
Yeah.
sun, come on, Mercury, come on, Mars. Like Pluto's not as scary as you might assume.
Yeah. And I do wonder, because the new moon was at 28
Mm-hmm.
Capricorn. It's also kind of almost an Aquarius new moon, because right
Yeah.
after you get the sun moving in, the moon moving in, and then you have Venus, Pluto. So it's all of a sudden, it's like, boom, Aquarius. It just
Yeah.
explodes.
It's like two shades of
Um,
Saturn, between Aquarius and Capricorn. It's like this kind of Saturnian energy and this kind of Saturnian energy. So it just feels like like step siblings sort of a thing.
yeah, totally. I feel the same way. And I feel like Venus, Pluto, we've talked about this. You like Venus, Pluto, right? Like it's
Hmm. I do. Yeah. I mean, if it purely in an artistic sense,
yeah.
because, Venus really wants to blend and merge. Like the aspect that's associated with her is the sextile. So it's like this new thing, like what can we build together? What we can blend together? What, two pigments can we mix to make a new hue?
Mm,
Like it's like the idea of blending and synergy and working together to create and be fertile. And then she
hmm
meets, it's like Persephone and then Hades. It's like then with the god of the underworld, this like midnight sun, this this portal of like deep, maybe dark and or nefarious power that comes through. It's like there's such foil to each other. But Pluto
mm,
will help unearth and reveal, and it isn't always pretty. And so, Venus being there with Pluto, it's like, what things will Pluto unearth that Venus will then transform? It's like the myth of the peacock devouring the poison, and that poison is what is like transmuted through the feathers to make them iridescent. It's like
mm,
that process of transmutation of something that is seemingly harmful or dangerous or just inconceivable. Venus comes in and presents it in a way that is like beautiful and exciting and like something that we haven't seen before, but it's pleasing enough where it then feels approachable. So I think that
mm.
to me, Venus like allows Pluto to be accessible in ways that maybe we don't really want to pay attention to before. So just in a visual, artistic kind of uh, sense of how Venus can create art. I really
Mm.
like that. I like the two together. And a lot of my favorite visual artists have had a Pluto Venus touch, whether it's a square, a conjunction, an opposition. Those are usually the ones. It's like a dynamic blending of those two planets. And I appreciate it. I like it. It's exciting. It's
It is
fresh. It's a
exciting.
little dangerous. It's a bit taboo, and I'm
Yeah.
attracted to that. I think that it's. I think Venus is just very brave to always like
Uh-huh.
not be afraid to go near. It's like Belle in Beauty and the Beast going to the Beast. That's like it's the Beauty and the Beast story. That's what it is.
I love that. That's exactly right. And I do think, I mean, there are other implications, like if you want to look at the fact that people during these transits can be a little obsessive, a little controlling, things like that. But
Yeah.
beyond that, I mean, Venus, I, like you said, Venus beautifies Pluto in some way, and I love
Hmm.
that.
Yeah.
It's great. And then let's see, what's the next thing? I'm glad I have a calendar because I'd forget. Oh, the Mercury Kazemi.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right. I put a little pharaoh emoji for Venus Pluto. It just reminds me of like a pharaoh. I don't know
Uh-huh.
why. Like
Huh.
just power and that degree, the Sabian symbol is something like a Hindu yogi demonstrates its healing powers, I think.
Hmm.
So it's like the focusing of spiritual energy and the fact that pharaohs were not only well, they were god kings, so it's Venus Pluto kind of reminds me of that god
Hmm.
king sort of thing. So
Hmm.
and then the Mercury Cazimi, some of our favorite things are Mercury Cazimis. I love it. Let's look at it.
Yeah, when I did tarot head readings, like the cards, for some reason, the Kazemi point was one that came up a lot when I was reading the card for January. It was like for a number of people. It's like the eclipse in February and then this Kazemi moment, like that date kept kind of like rising to the surface. So just from, my own small data pool of tarot readings for the year ahead, like there's something about this date that I just think is shiny that kind of like wants to be known. And so I hope that
Yeah.
people, I mean, it's Mercury's day. I hope that people take time to kind of sit and reflect, even if it's sitting still for like 10 minutes while this Kazemi is happening. I just think it's a really charmed Kazemi moment.
I love it. I think so too. And I like that it's in Aquarius. I think I love Mercury and Aquarius natives. Just the way their mind thinks, it's always
Mm-hmm.
outside of the box and stuff like that. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a moment when, I mean, the whole talk about the future and AI and all of that seems to come through really hardcore with Aquarian um, archetypes, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as this date goes, I know that I keep reading that the magnetic pole is wobbling and things like that. And I think of a Mercury Cazimi moment like this, like where we might have to think outside of the box, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if
So
we look at like the sun resides in Leo, the opposite sign. And so it's to me, like whenever a sign is away from home, so it's like far away from home. Sometimes when you're away from home, you're not distracted with like your regular responsibilities. So the sun in
mhm,
Aquarius doesn't have its usual responsibilities. So it has the freedom to not be encumbered by just the day to day workload. And so it's like when you're on
mhm,
vacation or someone else is driving on a long car trip, like you're able to kind of just let your mind follow new threads because you're not distracted with I got to go pick that up and drop this off and make this meal or go answer this email. You're not distracted by that. You're just kind of it's like when things settle a little bit, then you're able to explore ways that are unexpected because you're not encumbered by this duty. And the sun only gets that in Aquarius. So it is able to then think outside of the box because it's like choosing not to be responsible in that day-to-day like family obligatory way, but of like it's my job to think about these big things like how can we fix
mhm.
like how can we fix like these two different ways of electricity. So when I go to Europe, I have to bring an adapter because the way that electricity runs through these machines can't enter into this way. And so how can we create adapters that like marry these two ways of electricity to like connect with each other? It's like thinking about things like that. You're not going to think about things like that unless you're on vacation, right? Unless you're not, like beholden to this. So I think especially for a Mercury Cazimi with the sun and Venus or the sun and Mercury here in Aquarius, it's like extra sparkly because of that, because the sun
Yeah.
is not distracted with the duty and the fidelity of being in Leo.
Wow. Said beautifully. I love that.
Thank you. I'm excited for it, clearly.
I'm excited too. It's in my eighth house though, so I'm like, meh. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
We'll
do some
see.
magic, girl. Do some
I
magic.
know. I will have to for that. Um, because the next thing we have is Mars in emo. I love Mars in Aquarius, but it does feel I don't know, like yes, I'm different and I'm going to tell you how different I am. That's what Mars in Aquarius feels
Yeah.
like.
Well, maybe
So,
what idea comes through with that Kazemi, then you can just hand over to Mars and be like, figure this out. Because Mars
yep.
give something for Mars to do, and he will get into less trouble. And so, whatever idea comes into form, try to immediately like practice it or put it into action. If you have some crazy, I love harebrained schemes, like just start it. I watched a soapbox derby last night on TV and I was like, that is so much fun. And these soapboxes are barely built. Like these are like
Yeah.
amateur engineers, but it's so much fun. And like they did it, they tried it. So what's your version of a soapbox? To like what sort of crazy idea comes into the Mercury? Just immediately try to put it into action and like build a prototype immediately.
Hmm.
Just try it. Like nobody like don't listen to what anybody says. Just go for it. That's to me it's like the Kazemi and then Mars going in there is like just go for it sort of energy.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it will be very emo. It'll be like, oh, nobody knows how brilliant I am. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly right.
It
Yeah.
has that
That,
sense to it.
that's it feels like Mars does want to be acknowledged when it moves into Aquarius this time. But look at it. There are not many times that I see zero aspects in the middle of a chart. I mean,
Mm.
barely.
Mm-hmm.
All you've got is the moon and Saturn conjoined, sextile Uranus. But
Wow. Yeah.
if you look over at the Aquarius stuff, Mars enters Aquarius and the sun's conjoined Pluto with Mercury. Like it's just
Dang.
really
Yeah.
bizarre I don't know any other word to use but bizarre. Both Aquarius and Pisces have that kind of connotation anyway. It's like um
There's
out
no
there.
distractions. There's no
Yeah.
distractions right now. It's like crystal clear.
Hmm.
And with all that outer energy, like I wonder what we'll all experience collectively that will be hyper focused.
It's going to be.
Yeah.
There's no way around that. Like I would definitely put this date on your calendar because everything that happens in the beginning of January, all the and in fact, looking almost like hindsight to all of the Kazimis with in Capricorn, that's a really good time to um, nail something down. I feel like because this energy is it's it feels windy and wild. Like it just feels wild to
Mm.
me.
How
Crystal
about
clear, yes.
in early January, go ahead and build out what we call your bug out bag.
Yeah, kind of
You
like,
know, like
yeah.
have everything ready, have all your papers ready, have some cash, like just like do like the conspiracy theorist dream. It's just like have your bug out bag and you'll know it's there. And you will probably not need it, but it's there
Mm-mm.
for in something like this, something really crazy happens. And you've just got
Mm-hmm.
all of your necessities, in your closet or whatever that you can just grab.
Yeah. Yeah. It just, I mean, even Moon Saturn, like at that exact moment that Mars enters Aquarius is just, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Sextile Uranus, like, and Neptune's at the last 5 minutes of
Mm-hmm.
Pisces.
Yeah.
Um, and it's about to move into Aries, which is a big deal. Uh, we've already had it once, but Aquarius, let me think of what are some mundane um Aquarius archetypes? I mean, it's a fixed air sign.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I think of it as ideas, like shared ideas. It's a fixed
yeah.
sign, so it does not really want to alter, but it wants to. Um, I imagine it almost like that, like a really steady electrical vibration. Like it wants to have longevity. It wants to be true. It wants to just be authentic of itself, but it wants longevity. It wants sustainability. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but in an air sense, it's like a sustainable idea and all that stuff in Aquarius. I could see like maybe challenging some ideas. What ideas are actually sustainable? Like, can that idea is it going to seem dated in 5 years or in 10 years or in 30 years? Like, what is a truly sustainable tone that can ring
Mm-hmm.
true throughout generations? I think it's going to be more in the idea realm, which could be technology, it could be communication and the words that we
Yeah.
choose, that sort of a thing.
Mm-hmm. Like you said, because it's fixed, it's like long lasting.
Mm-hmm.
But I also get maybe even some, like you said, it's collective. But like maybe even protests, like
Mm-hmm.
that could very well be I guess a happening around this time. Yeah, I'm
Or like an obsession of power with the sun and Pluto there, and then the
yeah,
depression of the people with the moon and Saturn. It
it's
could be
true.
like something happens that then later causes protests because it's like there is too much consolidation of power because fixed
Mm-hmm.
signs like to contain and retain things.
Yeah.
And if there's too much power built up, like this could be like governments allowing monopolies of companies to exist. So then all of our data is stored by like one or two companies worldwide. It could just be the
Mm-hmm.
amount because information is power, money is power, water is power. Like just thinking all these power sources, if there's too much of a consolidation of power and an
Mm,
obsession with power, then that could be that oppressive lunar. If we think of the
yeah.
people as the moon and that oppressive Saturn on the moon, it could be the cause of protest to come later.
Yeah. That's again beautifully said. I love that. I think that's exactly what I was trying to get to in my head is there's definitely it's significant and it's significant for everyone around this time. That's
Mm-hmm.
just the way it feels. So
Yeah.
and then as if it's not crazy enough, Neptune enters Aries, and then Mars conjoins Pluto. Now that one is a big deal. So, and they're happening right next to each other. Let's look at that
Can we look at,
first.
so what were the dates for Neptune Aries last in 2025?
Let's look.
I'm already saying last year because I'm
I
done.
know. So it was March
Oh
30th.
wow. Gosh, yeah. So
And
March
then
to
to October.
yeah.
And then it went back, and now it's October to January. Now it's back in it. So 00, January 26th, 11:34 a.m. Neptune enters Aries. And Mars is headed toward Pluto. So the reason
Mm-hmm.
this is significant is because Neptune's orbit is about 166 years. The only time anyone alive has ever experienced it would have been March to October of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it retrograded back into Pisces. This is the first time it's entering Aries for good, and it's not going to retrograde back into Pisces again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the other thing that's significant is that Mars rules Aries. So Neptune is going to be taking cues from Mars and vice versa. Mars is going to be taking cues from Neptune as well, I think.
And they're in
So,
sextile with, especially as soon as it goes in, they're in that early sextile, which is like,
yep.
what do we, what can we do? What can we build? What can we, um,
Mm-hmm.
not build? What can we incite?
What it feels
and
like. Yeah.
invigorate and like change and like go forth and adventure and Neptune Neptune like diffuses.
Mm-hmm.
It can confuse, but it kind of diffuses, so it's hard to like gather up enough Neptunian energy to be like, how does it fit in this way? It's more about like it diffuses and it kind of gets into all the corners, but it's in a fiery Marsy solar sign of Aries. So it's like we experienced some of that activity last summer. Like I felt like I felt that it was a tangible, like fiery electricity in the air last summer. And was that Saturn
Yeah,
in Aries or was that Neptune in Aries? It felt like Neptune in Aries. That's what it felt
yeah,
like to me.
I agree. I think, and Neptune was in Aries during the Civil War, so
Mm-hmm.
there's some war connotations. I mean, it's hard to ignore that because, well, first of all, Neptune, an outer planet, is very collective. Second of all, Aries is about you as a human, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I think of Aries. Aries is about identity, it's about survival, ego, that's all Aries archetypes. So I can't help but feel like humans are about to be remade in some way. Like we're as like what it means to be a human is going to go through a huge change with Neptune and Aries. And
Mm-hmm.
that's this first moment happens right off the bat for
Yeah.
2026. And then at the same time, Mars conjoins Pluto, and like you said, is pretty well sextile to that. Let me look at that. Mars conjoined Pluto. So
That's the 26th and then the next day.
27th. Yep,
Yeah.
very next day, 3 degrees. So I mean, it's just so much in one spot. And then
Mm-hmm.
you have the moon trining the Mars Pluto conjunction.
And
I'm
sextiling,
speechless about it.
sextiling the Neptune. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What a curious end of the month.
Uh, and I guess Mercury and Venus come together. I don't have that on my calendar, but they do. Let's see. What is that? The 29th. Okay, so that sort of really does end the month, Mercury, Venus,
Mm-hmm.
which kind of tells me also it could be economic as well because Mercury rules commerce and Venus is associated with money.
Mm-hmm.
So there are some kind of money signals here too. But
Yeah, and
yeah,
that decan is ruled by Mercury. It's one of my
I
favorite decans of astrology is that middle decan of Aquarius. And it also reminds me of refugees. The image of the card that it's associated to has like a boat with two people on it and their backs are facing the reader. then there's
Ah,
another person that's standing up that can see over all the
yeah.
swords that are also in the boat. So it's like there's like a ferryman or like some sort of aid to get you from one edge of the shore to another. And so we can think of that in mercurial terms about like transporting people, transporting goods, transporting ideas. Like sometimes we need to rely on each other for information or aid. This can be kind of a like a great mutual aid moment. And how we think
Oh, I
about
love
mutual
that.
aid, how do we share resources? How do we create alternative sources of currency? That sort of idea.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think Bitcoin has it's got some Aquarius stuff in its
Mm-hmm.
chart,
Yeah.
if I'm not can't remember. And it's also got Venus and Pisces. So I'm just thinking about how kind of closely related this is to sort of crypto. But I mean, it does feel also very cold. I'm just going to say that
Mm.
because Aquarius just being that fixed air sign and it's really dry. And I know it's the water bearer, but it just feels like a really cold time.
I
Um,
have Bitcoin's birth. Do you want to put it in and we can look at it?
yeah, I may have it too. Let me look really quick and make sure I don't. Let's see. Open BTC. I used to have it. BTC. There it is. Haha. You have the same thing. Yeah, look at all the Aquarius. It's
So,
crazy. January
yeah.
3rd, 09, 6:15. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. In London, yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, all of this Aquarius stuff, the Venus Pluto, the Mars Pluto, the Sun Pluto, all happening on Bitcoin's Mercury. And
Mm-hmm.
then even the sun being on the descendant. And then if we think about Capricorn, Kazimis and stuff too, it's all hitting. It's all hitting Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm.
And then look at Bitcoin's moon.
Oh, yeah.
Neptune and Saturn are coming for it. So,
Yeah, so maybe like the circumstances of like what its actual value is will start to be redefined, when
mhm,
Neptune and Saturn go over that 4 degrees. Saturn's going to move pretty quickly once it gets into Aries. When I was
it
looking
is.
at it, I was like, wow, it moves so fast. I mean, it will retrograde, but it it goes through like the first 15 degrees pretty early on. So
Mhm.
it'll be a swift transit. It'll be around for a while. It's going to go back and forth, but it when Saturn is so slow, usually when you see it move fast, you're like, whoa,
Mhm. Mhm.
look at an old man run.
I could see this definitely being a crypto thing. We'll see. We'll see, I guess.
So is that the last transit for is
I do
Venus?
believe it is. Yeah, Venus Mercury. So that's on the 29th. I should have put that in there. But yeah, I think that's the last. And they travel together for like a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, because by the February 1st, there still isn't even really a big, any kind of big transit except for the full moon, which happens on like in between the 1st and 2nd of February. So
Yeah.
yeah, February 1st at 4:09 p.m. Central, and that's a full moon at 13 degrees Leo. So here we are,
Awesome.
January,
New year.
New Year. And in fact, we're going to record a New Year thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm excited.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
go check that out. We'll probably put both of them up, hopefully, um, probably
The
right next
next,
to each other,
yeah, yeah.
depending.
Yeah, we'll just go
And maybe
through it. We'll
we'll,
do like just a kind of a brief overview for each month, but we'll still do the monthlies like we do now. But we wanted to kind of look at the year ahead of just seeing all the change, all the quick Saturns and the Mercury retrogrades are going to be in water this year, so lots of things. But
lots of
welcome
things.
2026. I'm looking forward to it. It's a fire horse year once the new moon comes in. So much different from a snake year for sure.
It is. It is. And yeah, I guess we'll catch you guys on the flip side for February next month, but check out our full year ahead.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna be every transit. We're gonna go over the big ones. So
Yeah, we'll just gloss over. We'll just jump on the lily pads of the really obvious ones,
there you go.
just to give
That's
you a
right.
year ahead view. So I am Christa of Practical Astros. Thanks, Mandi.
I'm Mandi of Ecstatic Astrology. Thank you, Christa.